A member of Prime Minister Stephen Harper's cabinet has quit in the middle of a growing scandal. Just a short while ago, Helena Georges resigned from her job as Minister for State for the Status of Women. She's been under pressure after a series of personal missteps and troubles involving her husband, the former Tory MP Rahim Jaffer. The CBC's Rosemary Barton is following this story in Ottawa. Rosemary, what happened here?
Well, as you say, Carol, the pressure began to mount on Helena Georgis, leaving her with essentially little option but to resign. That happened last night. The Prime Minister says that last night his office and he became aware of some allegations regarding Ms. Georgis that meant that they had to accept her resignation, that it was unavoidable at this stage, are the words that he used. The Prime Minister has now gone to the very unusual step of calling in the RCMP to look into these allegations and asking the Ethics Commissioner as well to look into the allegations. The reason I can't tell you what exactly they're looking into is because the Prime Minister wasn't specific about that. But we do know it's something that he learned about over the course of the past 24 hours. Remember, it was just yesterday that the Prime Minister and his office were still defending Helena Georgis as Minister. Something has obviously changed in the past number of hours that allowed him to accept her resignation and even perhaps even suggest it. He says that the Prime Minister says that no other MPs or federal officials are involved in this, so she has not only lost her post as cabinet minister, but she is now no longer even in the Conservative caucus until this investigation is concluded. Here's a little bit of what the Prime Minister had to say just moments ago.
Of course I'm disappointed with this. You know, I hope, of course we all hope in these circumstances things will resolve themselves in a way that's satisfactory to everybody, but no, I'm very disappointed. It's a very sad day.
All right, so obviously the missing piece of the puzzle here, Rosemary, is what happened, as you say, in the last 24 hours that prompted the Prime Minister ask for or to receive her resignation. In the meantime, what is the opposition saying?
Well, they have questions. They want to know, first of all, why is the Prime Minister not being more forthcoming about these allegations? Certainly this is not about the temper tantrum that Helena Georgis had a number of months back at a PEI airport. That's not why she resigned. Is it related perhaps to the allegations made in the Toronto Star regarding her husband, and how is she connected to those allegations? These are all things that we can only speculate about at this stage, and the opposition says the Prime Minister should be more forthcoming with Canadians. They also say that he has to stop saying that Rahim Jaffer is only a private citizen, because he does, of course, have very close ties to the Conservative Party. And Michael Ignatieff also saying that he would expect this government, that has, of course, made a very big deal about being transparent and above board, to be more ethical and more forthcoming about what is going on here. Take a listen to the Liberal leader.
The Prime Minister has to respond honestly to Canadians about what these accusations are. It needs to be in the light of day. This is a government that preaches accountability and transparency. Well, let's see a little.
But for now, we're not seeing much more than this. And, of course, the fact that the Prime Minister has handed off whatever his concerns are to the RCMP and the Ethics Commissioner means that he'll be able to use this as a line to defend himself come question period. But the opposition parties promise that they will continue to push hard on this issue. Even if Georgis is no longer in the Conservative caucus, they still want some answers as to what is happening. And, of course, the opposition party is trying to push this back on Mr. Harper and saying that perhaps Mr. Harper's credibility is at stake here because he was the one that was defending this minister for such a long time.
All right, and I want to assure our audience that if we get word on just what those accusations are, Rosemary Barton will be the first to tell you, and we'll have her back on. Thank you, Rosemary.
Okay.
All right, Rosemary Barton in Ottawa.